Alrighty, so howdy. We're doing things a little bit differently today. So rather than a stream, I decided since the content I'm going to be trying might be a little bit on the smaller end, that I'd make a video about it. Minimal effort as far as editing or anything like that. It's just going to be a straight run through. But figured, at the very least, maybe it'll be fun. And as to the title of this video, so we actually are approaching our way to Nagafen's lair, and that's because we just hit level 40. And, well, Nagafen is not exactly level 40. So we're going to exercise what's called Hubris, because I'm feeling pretty confident. Maybe it's misplaced confidence. Maybe it's bravado. Maybe it's well earned. Who knows? But I figure in the very least we'll find out. And if I get it, cool. And if I don't, well, I guess this is a learning experience for anyone watching. But I am currently running a level 40 rogue ranger monk with almost entirely a focus on DPS. So the sustain I have is minimal at best. We have greater healing, which I can proc with Spellblade. And that's really about it, truthfully. So we're gonna see what that does for us. So we're not even gonna bother fighting any of the mobs along the way. We're just gonna mosey on through. Now in the closed beta, I did do this solo on several difficulties. Did I take a wrong turn already? I took a wrong turn. Already off to a great start. So, there was a wildly different difficulty, however, as that was, a Ranger Enchanter Beast Lord with a very, very, very heavy emphasis on support for my pet, where I would heal them and keep them topped off and everything of the such. So I have no idea how well this is gonna go, or not. But we're gonna just take a little bit of lava damage here. And just run through lava, you know, nothing crazy. That's okay though. So, on this game, EverQuest Legends, you can have solo dungeons. And we're gonna do this on a 0 difficulty. So, some of the settings are modified to be a little bit easier when you try and do things solo. To accommodate the fact you're not doing this with a group. So, we will see how well that goes. So, we finished loading, and now we're loaded into Nagafen's lair. These mobs are very red to me, sitting at a very uncomfortable level 49, and me level 40, but we're all buffed up, ready to go. And I figure we might put on some familiar music for my fellow Dragon Slayers. Well, Ryusei's pretty cool. He doesn't count. Hehe. So, we have Shroud of Stealth. We're going to try and fight one of these guys by ourselves. This is a good measure to see how well things go. We're going to start off with Striker Stance to try and hit them as hard as possible. And we're also going to set... Oh, I suppose we should change this out before I realize it. Let's have to greater healing here. Let's swap to a root here. Actually, no. We're gonna need a smaller heal here. And we're gonna need a harmony with nature here. Because later on, some of them are grouped up a little bit closer to each other. So we're gonna start off in striker stance for one shot, immediately go off into evasive stance, get off some dots, and then we'll go into business. Alright, so there's that. Immediately into the dots. A flame up. We're gonna go into an offensive. So normally, I would prefer to use ranged. But for this litmus test, I figure it might be a little bit more appropriate to try and see just how well standard damage will apply. That said, I am not in evasive stance. He's not doing a worrying amount of damage to me. However, the same can be said for him. He's rather polite in taking this beatdown, I would say. Just for giggles, we'll go ahead and turn on Spellblade Invocation. Get ourselves a few heals off passively with that. Not even gonna bother with men right now. I'm feeling that nonchalant. Unless the heal doesn't proc, of course. We'll wait until about 50%. And we're still leveling up our skills, by the way. Okay. He yields about 2% experience. We'll stack these just for giggles. And I'm going to continue on forward. We're not even going to bother with the rest of them. We know what we need to know now. Nagafen is a warrior class. Does belly casting. So in order to hit those spells, you have to be right on him, which doesn't really apply to us, because we're all melee. But also does a 600 damage fire attack. Godspeed, dear Ranger. May Arola Simar be ever in your favor. Perfect timing, Dishaw. Alright. I see, here we go. Alright. Brace yourselves, here we go! Oh, this is nerve-wracking. Already starts off with quite a lot of damage, so we're going to swap into a Spellblade Invocation and stay in evasive. We're going to swap our dots as much as possible. We're going to try and weave in a little bit of healing here and there. So far, though, damage seems to be going pretty well. We're evading at a good, comfortable 61%. I'm going to try out the offensive stance and see how well that works out. We're going to try and maintain our DPS as consistently as possible, though. So I'm going to be swapping a little bit in between And the Spellblade Invocation doesn't seem to be consistent as often, so I'm going to swap into Unyielding. Try and weave some slow heals in. Okay, he's coming up with another big one, so we're going to swap in a Greater Heal and go in Evasive Stance. Ooh, that hurts. I don't think we're going to make it. But you know what? We're sure as heck going to try. So we're going to stay here. I'm going to swap in a Recovery Invocation. We got some riposte going off. Men coming back off cooldown in a couple of seconds. It doesn't say when. Hopefully, it will be critical. And it sure as heck was. So we're going to renew our Swarm of Pain, because that is quite a lot of damage. It's a prohibitive amount of mana, unfortunately, but... And we're about to run out of endurance, so we're going to go back into a balanced stance. I'm going to an offensive stance. Dip our toes a little bit into a healing stance. He's at 72%. Oh, he's critting. There's quite a few crits. 25%. I'm gonna try and do something a little cheesy. Okay, he doesn't care if we feign death. Gonna do another Greater Healing. Pop back into Evasive. Inversion, Greater Healing. Unfortunately, we're completely out of mana. We're gonna swap an probably should be Unyielding Invocation, but neither of our heals have enough mana. We don't have mana on time. Ah, good try, good try. Good try, folks, though. Good try. Alright. But that's okay. So, instead, we're going to try and fight the giants. So, but that may be a stream for another time. So, thanks for staying tuned and watching that effort as far as a very short-lived effort. We'll try again. If you've got any recommendations or anything like that, just let us know. Well, us, me. But anyways, mata!